doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal. Okay, so remember back a few weeks ago, around the beginning of this summer of 8-Bit, when I was talking about Boulder Dash, I mentioned a Wisdom Tree game that ripped it off pretty blatantly. Well, that's the game we're going to talk about today. Yep, we're venturing into that magical land we call Wisdom Tree games. And now, while most Wisdom Tree games are pretty bad, this one actually doesn't entirely suck. It's just that it's so much like Boulder Dash. Boulder Dash is such a better game that it's usually lost in the shuffle and piled on with the rest of the really bad Wisdom Tree games that came out. This title is from 1991, and it's probably the only video game where you will play as Moses. Today's game is Exodus: Journey to the Promised Land. Okay, so in Exodus: Journey to the Promised Land, you play as Moses, and essentially, while it's implied that you're leading the Israelites to the Promised Land on their quest through the desert, in the game, you're actually collecting jars of manna. Manna is, for the uninitiated, manna is the food that God gave the Israelites to sustain them while they were in the desert, lost. Well, in this game, you have a certain amount of manna to collect. Once you've collected that designated amount of manna, an exit opens up. You go through the exit, proceed to the next level. And while you're doing all of that, you're also avoiding enemies and collecting other items, point multipliers and stuff like that. It's, like I said, it's a pretty blatant ripoff of Boulder Dash, with the one real difference being the religious overtones placed on this game. And those overtones are pretty substantial, so much so that there are mini games in between each level that are essentially Bible quizzes. It asks you questions and you have to select the correct answer for them between levels, and I believe you get a bonus when you do this, when you answer the questions correctly. I'm not sure, I don't remember entirely, but Wisdom Tree games aren't known for having really good anything. But I must say, like, as far as Boulder Dash ripoffs go, this one isn't bad. It doesn't control terribly. The graphics aren't horrible. They're kind of muddy. They look dated. To say this game came out in 91, which was after Battletoads, after Mario 3, after Zelda 2, after, I want to say it was around this point, or a little bit after, or a little bit before Batman Return of the Joker. So yeah, this game really has no excuse for not being visually impressive, except for the fact that it was made by Wisdom Tree. Now, we all know that Wisdom Tree games are insanely marked up in resale right now. So unless you're a collector or you're one of those people who like to do angry game reviews, I wouldn't go hardcore looking for a copy of any of the Wisdom Tree games, because they're, to be honest, gameplay wise, they're not worth it. This has been the 8-Bit Animal, and I'll catch you beautiful people tomorrow.